damn ball, RJ.
I want to get you out of here with one question from the chat that I thought was actually pretty good. I thought I had it, but the chat keeps moving on you. That's what chats do. Travis Pinner had this. He said, "Hey Bronson, what is the biggest thing you have to adjust for an offensive lineman in college for when they get to the NFL, especially when OU runs an air raid and most NFL teams do not?"
That's a good question. He did spell my name wrong, but it's all good.
Hey man, I've had people spell my name ARJAY. Okay. Okay.
Oh man. Bronson, SIN.
Bronson.
That'd be my stripper name or something.
Brosine? Brosine. There you go. Brosine.
So as far as the transition, I think based on my experience and the knowledge I have, I think the biggest difference is sheer volume of material. So we talk about all the time, OU just runs a couple of different run plays with the zone, the GT, the power, inside, outside stretch. I mean, you go to the NFL and they're running 30 different run plays out of 24 different sets. They've got checks. I remember when I was with the Seahawks, they would put these plays on the sheet and they're so small you can't even see them to get them to fit. And I mean, this was the total play call would take them like 10 seconds to call. Okay. So they'd call the first play, formation or personnel formation play. They do an alert, personnel formation play. So they could go up there, you're set for the first play. They check it or hit, alert in this scenario, or
Right.
Kill, which is a common one. Now you got to process all that information. Now you're in the second play. Okay, so I just processed all the information for the first play. He checks the play. I've got to communicate with the line. This is this is on a 25-second play clock, right?
Right.
Checks the play. I've got to, half the time you're sitting there going, okay, what was the second play? The ball snapped, right? But you've got to be able to process that information quickly, and there's just so much more of it. And I think part of that is unnecessary. I think that there's a kind of the old guard in the NFL that doesn't believe that things can be simplified, and I think that's changing a little bit. You see some of these offenses that are doing things more similar to what a college offense would do nowadays. But I think it's just sheer volume. And, you're trying to learn something that it took you 3 or 4 years in college to really learn that system. And it's more complex. And you're trying to learn that in training camp, rookie mini camp, and then going into fall camp. And I'd say there's a little bit more pressure in that scenario than there is in college. I mean, it's certainly a stressful situation if you're a guy like me who's kind of on the fringe and, obviously wasn't a second round draft pick. Your job's on the line every day, and then one day you don't have one anymore. So I'd say just kind of the total package as far as, coming from our offense, playing with Bill Beatonbow, you're coming in physically ready. Put your hand on the ground. Let's go.
Right.
Some of the blocking schemes will be a little bit different because they typically tend to use a little bit more help from the tight ends and H-backs and fullbacks and some of that stuff that they don't see as much at OU. So I think it's really just learning some of that, the stuff that's not as familiar, and then just being able to handle that sheer volume of content that they put on you. And it's not, we'll kind of learn as we go. It's you got to learn it all now for practice tomorrow, basically. So it's just it's just different in that respect. And obviously, if you switch teams, that whole thing can change overnight, which is not easy. I can say that from experience as well. You're trying to learn the whole playbook in 48 hours before a preseason game. It's tough to do, but I'd say that's the biggest thing. Physically, not that much different. I think much like you see at the college level, you see offensive linemen, defensive linemen that you kind of wonder how they've been there for 4 or 5 years. How is this person not get beaten out or cut or whatever? But it's just the way the game works. And then there's also the other components as far as salary cap and compensation. There's that nature that change a little bit, obviously. But it's just a little bit different. At the end of the day, it's football, and you find a way to go out there and compete. It's just a matter of can you handle that step up in both knowledge and then competition. Obviously, is there's nothing quite like that.
All right, man. That is Bronson Irwin. I put up a best of our interview that was over an hour long. It's really good. You should listen to. But there's a best of up immediately in front of this video. It's best of Bronson Irwin. One of the cool stories that he told was the subterfuge during the 2013 season that led to beating Alabama for a Sugar Bowl title. Played at Oklahoma as an offensive lineman in 2010, 2013. I'm going to leave you with, green, right, strong, slot, spider, 2Y, banana. And memorize that. Don't know what the hell it means. It's got flood right. It's kind of thing I think, they might try to make you memorize, and then there's a kill out for that. Bronson, thanks, bro. I sincerely, I appreciate it. I like doing it. It's fun. We should do it again.
No, I'm definitely on board for doing it again. We've got to get some intro music. I think we're gonna do like baseball
Copyright?
walk up style.
Copyright?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, you're on YouTube. That might get tricky.
Copyright. Yeah, you don't like to play with copyright on YouTube. But hey, if I dumpster dive and I find you some stuff, right? I'll let you pick through it and we'll do something. Cool?
Right on, man. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. Talk to you soon.
All right, thanks.
Bronson Irwin, awesome dude. I need to hook him up with that Baby Shark intro music. I'm playing Bronson, sorta. So one of the things that I did want to talk about before we get out of here was LSU's athletic director stepped down. Less than 24 hours before that was even announced, they had their athletic director already positioned who's going to succeed him. It is Scott Woodward out at Texas A&M. Scott Woodward, wow, I mean that's an intense hire. That's an intense hire for college football. That's huge because you'll remember the legendary overtime game between LSU and Texas A&M. But Scott Woodward just brought Buzz Williams in from Vatech. He hired Jimbo Fisher away from Florida State with the substantial $75 million 10-year contract. But before that, he was the AD at Washington, where he hired Chris Peterson. So this dude knows from hiring football coaches in particular, but basketball coaches as well. And I wonder what that means for Will Wade at LSU, who was just reinstated. Was he just reinstated to be fired by Scott Woodward? I would think so. Now, people in College Station are going to get upset about this, and you're going to hear from your family, your friends, whoever went to A&M. I hope you dunk on those people and tell them, Woodward's from Baton Rouge. What did you expect? He has an apartment in the French Quarter. He has campground, I want to say in like the Isle. And then his entire family lives in Baton Rouge. What did you expect? As soon as LSU offered him the job, he was gone. It's like, look, it's like Uncle Elroy in Next Friday. See, what it was Uncle Elroy is walking and talking with Craig. And, he's in his satin pajamas. I can't rock no satin pajamas. And his empty pool. And he was saying, I know what you're thinking. I told you I would never leave the projects. I'm down with the hood. I'm from the projects. But as soon as he got his check, he was gone. And that's what Scott Woodward did. Scott Woodward got his check and he was gone. You know what time it was? I mean, even in Texas Hill Country where they have all the money. The most money in college football, A&M. Like $214 million in revenue for the athletic department last year. Texas was second with $212 million. They do the most with the least. Or they do the least with the most. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But you're going to hear from your ampersand you fam, your ampersand you friends, and you just tell them straight up. He went home. We all go home. That's why they call it home. So you can go there. So if you're not from home and you living away from home and somebody offers you a better gig back home, you're going to make like Happy Gilmore in that golf ball and you're going to go straight home. Okay? All right. Really fun show. I'm glad Bronson came through. If you like the channel, please subscribe, rate, review, all those sorts of things. There is no rating and reviewing. That's a joke. But yes, do subscribe, like the video, whatnot. There is a podcast up between Brandon Drum and I on the Young and Drum feed. Yes, it took us a while, but it's an hour's worth, and it's really good. I'm going to put it up at some point, but I am one man producing this show, several others. I'm having a good time, though. This is a lot of fun. Thank y'all for supporting the channel. The folks on Patreon, the folks who hit up the Super Chat, who make all this stuff possible and make it happen, clap for them. You know what I mean? It's really fun. It's a blessing to be here. It's a blessing to be able to do this show. I really love it. I'm having a great time. All right. That is it for me. If you like the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. I will see you tomorrow. Deuces.